Hi, and welcome to Astrology and Earth Magic. I'm Jennifer, and I'm here to give you some astrological wisdom to prepare you for the full moon in Libra that is coming up on April 12th at 23 degrees Libra and 19 minutes. So already Venus is activated with this full moon because as the ruler of Libra, Venus is getting activated, and then about 45 minutes later, after the exact full moon, she will station direct to start and end that retrograde period. And this is going to be in the sign of her exaltation, which is Pisces. So we have two really happy signs working together that really enjoy Venus. Venus is really happy right now. She's in her glory in Pisces, about to start moving forward again, up on that pedestal. It all sounds really lovely. So you might say, negative Nancy, that things can only go downhill from here. And because of all the other planetary aspects, we will see a little bit of agitation, I guess you could say. So let's break all down the aspects and see how all this might play out. So the sun will be conjunct to Chiron, which is going to be at about 23 degrees Aries as well. So being a full moon, we know that the moon will obviously be opposing Chiron. So this can be especially triggering, but if used in a positive way, we can really set ourselves up for some deep self-discovery, some emotional healing, but it does dredge up those old wounds from the past, things that really, might be bothering you, that might not have gone away, that you might not have healed. So this is at its peak. This is at the full moon. So this is about letting that go as we start waning down. So we have to release these things that trigger us, release these things that are really still bothering us. Everything really, though, happens for a reason in our lives. And this includes the heartbreaks. It includes the losses of, say, family members or friends, or even the loss of a job, things that really, events that could cause you a lot of pain, a lot of stress and worry, and things that really kind of stick with you, that you might have hard time getting rid of, especially if it's, somebody, a bad breakup that you think you can't heal from, or maybe you got fired from a job and you don't understand why. These things might keep cropping up and bothering us, and it's impeding our ability to kind of move forward. But we have to remember that even though these things are hard, it really shapes us into the people that we are about to become. These are learning experiences, and it doesn't have to be these setbacks can be learning experiences. They don't have to always be negative, and they don't have to be held with us forever. Sometimes we just have to kind of let it go and just say, you know what? I'm going to let this go in the past, and I'm going to move forward as a stronger person because of it. You want to know what you want, what you need, what we don't want anymore, and what we need to let go of. Stop my sorry about that, if you could hear that. My cat's biting my microphone. So what we learn from, say, a bad relationship, we learn what we don't want in a relationship, and we learn what we do want. We learn the way we want to be treated. Also, the same thing can be for jobs. We learn how we want to be treated at a job. If we've been taken advantage of, we learn what we don't like to do, what we do like to do, and also how we can treat our fellow co-workers, and how, they might have treated us, but, you give what you get, so you want to act a certain way to retrieve that back. This is how you keep in balance with this full moon, because Libra is all about balance and harmony, finding harmony in your life and finding that harmony against the difficult times. So Venus in along with this conjunction and this opposition with the moon, of course, with Chiron, Venus and Saturn and Mercury will all be conjunct the North Node. So this is not only about fixing old wounds, this is about our karma and our destiny and what we're meant for in this life and what we can achieve in this life if we put in the work for it. This can take a form of a spiritual evolution, pretty much. The full moon will be no less than a journey of self-reflection and self-discovery. Really get to know who you are, what you want again, and that is going to lead to your own personal growth. Learn what is not necessary to you and what you need to leave behind again. I can't emphasize that enough. Don't stick to something that is just not working out. You want to move on from that. You want to take this time to really reevaluate your goals. Now, we have Saturn in there, and especially in relationships, with this happening in Libra. Libra is that sign pretty much with the mantra, we are. So when you think Libra, it's about we. The opposition of Aries, that's I am. So Libra is about forming relationships, the relationships that you have. But this full moon with the Chiron and kind of bringing up the past issues, we could be thinking, what are we exactly? Not sure of where you stand in a relationship. This is definitely a day, a judgment day for relationships. I think it's the judgment day to pretty much, am I going to go with this or am I going to leave it behind? And relationships, I mean, this can be, of course, a love relationship, but it can also be a friendship that may have gone toxic, something that you have to kind of leave back and just say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. This is not benefiting me in any way. And we'll get to why, because that also is going to play a big part in this. The things that really, and the people that cause you a lot of stress are what you need to kind of let go of. So again, Judgment Day. That's how I look at this full moon. It's pretty much like, okay, we're at the peak, and am I going to go on by myself? Am I going to go on doing something different? Mars will also trine the North Node, and that adds to that karmic layer, because with what are we when we think that? Like, we add, where is this going? Is it meant to be? So you're thinking, okay, so it's all right so far, but is it going to grow into something else? Is it going to, we do have Saturn in there that with Venus and with Mercury gets us thinking, is there going to be some kind of commitment? Is there going to be some kind of a raise given? Or is there going to be something that is going to kind of boost me up a little bit with this relationship or in a career or anything like that, wherever this happens to fall in your chart? Where am I going with this? And is this meant to be, or am I meant to be doing something else? This can make you even more determined to kind of release all that, and get that self-discovery to be able to release things and move forward. Or it could get you even more frustrated because you just don't know what to do next. I say get ready for what I like to call a what the fuck moment, because that moment can be due to disappointment, and you could say, like, what the fuck? Like, this relationship isn't working, this job isn't working, this friendship isn't working, and you could have it like that. Or you could have it in a optimistic way, when you have that realization, when it pops into your head and you're like, what the fuck, let's go for it. And so, sorry to be all crass, but you could use it in two totally different ways. It just depends on your mentality and the inner work that you're going to do to find that inner harmony, to find that balance, and just to be able to sit and go inside yourself and just know. Now, you really want to pay attention to any strange and quick thoughts that might come into your head, because these could be things that, might not be just fleeting. It's there for a reason. Something might be trying to tell you something, especially things that might be being brought back from the past, with all of our retrogrades now getting ready to all going forward. But this also can have a tendency to throw a harmonious relationship all out of whack, because it gets you thinking, especially, when you're having difficulties, it gets you thinking, okay, so, do I want this? Is this working? Where is this going? But it also gets you thinking when things are going well, and you're like, are things really going as well as I think? Or are, what are they saying? People at work, are they, talking, are they thinking it's going as well as I'm thinking it's going? Is my spouse thinking it's going as well as it's going? Are things really working out? And you can really get into your own head about something like this. This is all, of course, this is happening in an air sign. So, when, especially if you are an air sign like me, I am a Libra, and I know how things can really get into my head and just like grow and just saturate. So kind of going back to the toxicity. So we also have Ceres will be squaring Jupiter. So Ceres is about that nurturing, that mothering, that giving care, and a lot of this frustration that you could feel maybe from taking on too much responsibility, maybe trying to be too helpful, because you love so much, maybe that you have that mental exhaustion. Maybe you're just lacking that ability to say no to somebody, or being overly involved. A lot of people have a really, they have a way of kind of feeling other people's problems and taking them onto themselves. So this can be really emotionally draining, and you don't want to take on too much. So if people you feel are taking advantage of your kindness and of you trying to help them, maybe you're, even your husband, you do things for them, but they start expecting you to do too much for them, or that could be with, your spouse or whatever. Same thing with work, you're taking on so much because you want to look good and you want to, keep that positivity going. Maybe if it's in a new workplace, you just keep taking things on and on and on, and it just gets to be too much and too overwhelming. So this can even be friends. So a lot of us have those friends that always have drama going on, and they're always just confiding you with their problems, and you're trying to give advice. They're not always listening, but they still are giving you their problems, and this kind of stuff can really weigh on you. I know even me, if things are going on at work, especially at my old job, I was more HR, and there was constantly drama, and it constantly kind of got to you, because people would come to you and they'd be like, oh, this one is doing this one's doing this, you'll never believe. And sometimes you just had to separate yourself, and I would have to say, look, I don't want to deal with it. Unless you have something positive to say, don't come into my office, I'm done. So if you feel the need to do that, you can say no. You do have that ability. So if what you need to release is some of these stresses and some of this, gossipy, maybe a drama, release that. It doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It can be just something like that. That's something that just eases your mind a little bit. And feel free to take a step back. That is fine. You have to do what is good for you, because these people that are pouring their problems out on you, if that is the case, that's how they're getting rid of their problems, because they're almost putting it on somebody else. They're talking about it, which is a good thing, but sometimes it can get to be a little bit much. And the people who do that, who I'm talking about. The full moon will be squaring Mars as well. So you might be just overwhelmed with emotion. So, with all the frustration, you could just feel yourself on the verge of tears and just crying. And, maybe if you are in a relationship and tell that your significant other, like, oh, I just don't know, and I'm thinking this, be open, have a conversation. Don't let it get to you. Let things out, but try and do it in a positive, productive way to work through things. Mars can sometimes be a little bit crass. We all know that. But if you're somehow not relieving the physical tension that you have, you're bound to go off. You're bound to just fly off the handle. And this can be caused from that mental exhaustion that you have. Oh, I've been dealing with all this at work, and then I get home, and then somebody says this, and it sets you off. Maybe your kids are asking, and you're like, oh, mommy, or who knows what. Your mother critiques your hair, who knows. Don't let it set you off. This can even have to do with some sexual frustration. Maybe things have been a little bit slow in the bedroom. You're getting really edgy, and you're like, oh my God, what the hell? These get your minds thinking. So you want to take care of that too. You want to, hey, if you can't do it, then do yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you want to take care of that before you end up going off the handle and saying things that that might come back to bite you in the end. So this is an applying T-square that we have now, and it's building tension, anger, resentment, and again, work it off. Get outside, relieve yourself, take a step back, remove yourself from the situation, maybe take a walk, maybe go for a run. One thing that I feel is a great thing to do this time of year, now that it's warming up, go for a hike and take in the beauty of the reawakening world around us. Now, again, lots of Libra going on here. So we have the full moon in Libra, obviously, and then we have Venus also stationing direct. So appreciate beauty and appreciate nature. And just really anything physical that can relieve your mind. But if you can, and you don't run, if you don't have, let's go look at the flowers, look at the trees, look at the buds on the trees, and just appreciate that. Uranus also is getting into the mix, of course. So always got to mix things up, but it can be with a little bit of goodness, because it will sextile Venus and Saturn and also Mars. So we have the sextile to Venus and Saturn, which are conjunct, and then we have to Mars on the other side. So if you're in a good place, this could actually mean some fun surprises to come. So, it don't necessarily mean that this is going to be bad. I'm just giving you some warnings and things to look out for. Of course, with a full moon, you just never know. Your emotions are going to be on high, but these could be good emotions. So say career, for instance, with these key aspects, maybe you'll see some advancement. Maybe it'll be a surprise bonus, or maybe a surprise in your reputation where you find out oh, my boss has been bragging about me and it just feels really good. So it could be something as simple as that, some kind of nice surprise that just makes you feel good inside. It also could play out in a powerful lesson that might need to be learned. Maybe that you need to settle down, maybe seek commitment. Maybe you're just out there kind of dating around, but maybe you all of a sudden feel like you need some structure, and it just kind of jolts you out of nowhere. Like I said, you want to keep track of these thoughts that come into your head, because a lot of times these thoughts that you kind of try and disregard because that's not me, it might actually be you. So you might want to give it a try. So keep that in mind, because sometimes a little bit of structure, sometimes a little bit of balance as we grow older can really be the key to our happiness. But if you are normally an unconventional type person, you're in a sextile to Mars, maybe you'll find your own type of balance. Maybe you'll find your own type of commitment, one that suits you. Maybe so we're, gonna do this, and this is going to work for us, and it might be a little bit different, and I might not have a normal job like everybody else does, but this one seems to work for me. This one feels good for me. If you don't want that 9-to-5 desk job, you want to work overnight doing something, have at it. Anything that just makes you feel good, something that will just kind of makes you thrive. Saturn conjuncting the North Node on its way into Aries is really, it's a 30-year process, a 30-year transit pretty much. And it's really of working on who you're destined to be. Saturn is about growth. It's about developing and maturing. So again, with the inner evaluation can again be that karmic lesson. So, okay, how have I matured? How am I going to take this and move forward? And again, it's all about reevaluating your life and reevaluating where you are in your life. I think meditation is going to be key because we do have Mars kind of acting up a little bit. So take some time to just sit and meditate if you like using crystals or incense or anything that just makes you feel good. Something to just be calm and just kind of just let it all settle in so that you can really just see what's working, what's not working. Are you, feeling good about where you are in your life? What part of your life are you not feeling good about? What part could you say, I could kind of do without this? And I think that is going to be the key to just kind of get by yourself and think that, because a lot of us just don't have the time because we go to work and then we get home and we have to cook dinner and then we have to go to bed and take care of pets, take care of children. Who knows what we're doing? Maybe we're volunteering, maybe we're working out. Try and take the time to just take it all in and relax. And I think it's really going to be beneficial. With this full moon, you want to be aware of any thoughts, again, that pop up because they are messages. They are sending you something. Same with dreams. Not probably as much. This is kind of more quick messages, I think, that will be dropped in by that Uranus. So keep your mind open for them. Any strange itch you feel the need to scratch could mean something. Take this time also to just be grateful to yourself because you had the ability over all your life to overcome the hardships, and think about the takeaways that you have from them. Who have you lost in your life? What have you lost? Is it a job? Is it a person? Is it a pet? And how can you grow from it? And what are the takeaways from it? And how can we use this moving forward to then help others? So this is your inner Chiron. This is what Chiron does. And it uses the pain of itself to help others, like how they might have learned from their own pains and their own wounds that might not go away, but how can they use that to pass along to maybe help others with the strength and with the knowledge that you've gained over all this time. But again, don't let that take over your life. You want to take time to take care of yourself. So that is about all. I think this is going to be kind of an exciting, hopefully a learning experience type of full moon. So I hope you all are having just a really good new month coming up with April. I hope you are healing and growing and aiming for that life that you all are destined for, and releasing what you don't want anymore. And just remember, just if it's not working for you, just let it go. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and of course subscribe. It's gonna be down here somewhere, so hit that subscribe button. Please also leave a comment. It really helps to boost the channel, and I'd love to hear from you guys and see what you think about all this coming up. And I hope to see y'all soon. Bye bye.